Hi, today we're going to talk about the different types of notes so that you get familiar with them so that you can sight read and sing anything you need to sing. So let's just take a note. Each one of these notes are a different value, okay? And they're based off of ratios. So let's get started. This is the whole note, and it has the longest duration. Here's the half note. It's actually half of a whole note, and it gets the next longest. So 2 half notes are equal to a whole note. All right, here is our quarter note. Notice it's all the way filled in and it has a nice straight stem. The half note was only half filled in, and the whole note doesn't need a stem to stand on. It's whole. Okay, so our quarter note is actually half of a half note or a quarter of a whole note. Okay, so there's 4 quarter notes in one whole note. All right, notice this note has a flag. It looks exactly like a quarter note, but has a flag, and it's called an eighth note. And each time you have a flag, it's going to cut the note in half. So now this note is only worth a half of a beat, or a half of a quarter note. Okay, so it's called an eighth note. And this last one, notice it has 2 flags. This is called a 16th note. It looks exactly like a quarter note with 2 flags, and it is worth a quarter of a beat, or 16 of them equal a whole, 8 equals a half, 4 equals a quarter, and 2 equals an eighth. So let's look at the whole picture right now. We're going to see this diagram, kind of like a factor tree for math, only it's a factor tree for notes. Now, we have some notes that are shorter than, and we talked about it in class. So each time we add a flag, it divides it in half. So this is the 32nd, this is the 64, and we all know the pattern 128, 264, and all that other stuff. So here is the factor tree, and let me just move this down just a little bit so you can see it. Here's our factor tree. Whole note, divide those in half and you get half notes. Divide the halves and you get quarters. Divide the quarters and you get eighths. Divide the eighths and you get 16. So if I want to occupy a whole note with all 16 notes, I'm going to have 16 of them. And this is why it's important to kind of understand what each of these equal. All right, if you have any questions, shoot me an email.